Chapter 17, Wire Fire Factor. As we near the end of this book, we begin to ramp up the energy behind the action. Doing what we do best because of who we are is the best part. Be aware, your mood can strongly influence the emotions and feelings of other people, family members, a superior, a coworker, or even a friend. People become so accustomed to your strength and emotional support that on an off day makes them question what they've done, or they realize how much they like the other person inside of you. A focused, lasered on point day can pierce the soul of those who look up to you. They know today is different because that look made them think you were mad at them or had something wrong was going on. They know you have a lot on your plate, yet still don't understand the vision or focus you have when your gifts are working at a high capacity. I've been caught off guard by this a few times because what I took as my mind racing, they took personal. Leadership in the eyes of the follower can be very fragile. The key is to stay on the course, focus on what's important, and not get caught being bound to your emotions or their emotions for that matter. You are in no better place if you let something so trivial and simple frustrate you. Shake your head, clarify the situation, and move on. Defeat is humiliating because there is shame in failure. Humility when facing a new situation, change of environment, or just adversity is more important than you realize. You don't know how people will treat you or how you will be perceived, so you must maintain a level of humility to see the better side of this change. Emotionally charged people who react to the slightest comment or mood will be in no better place than the one struggling to get by. There is power in exposing who you really are and then staying true to it. Over the years, I've acquired several career accomplishments and skills. I finished my bachelor's degree, attained 5 certifications, started a side construction business, excelled in engineering and advanced automation, and my biggest accomplishment, successfully running a warehouse and shipping operations plant. And yet I still find myself forgetting how talented and gifted I am. Don't let what you're chasing diminish everything you've achieved. Leaders like us tend to think those things are expected and that we haven't hit our pinnacle yet. When we own our truth, we find gratification in what we've done. Like most, we've done it while raising a family and working a full-time job, or at least sacrificed somewhere along the way to keep this plan alive. There are so many tools, tips, and videos out there to teach you how to be better, and they are important, but it requires each of us to use our own unique talent to work. You must find out what is unique about yourself, though, and then begin fine-tuning it. We are all a mess since birth, influenced by the world, but if we are true to ourselves and see things as real as they are in life, we can build on it each step of the way. Build it on a strong foundation. Just as the man who builds it on sand will quickly find it eroding, but the man who builds it on rock-solid foundation can focus on what he is wired to do. So what qualifies us to be great? First, you are chosen. That is, if you so choose to accept it. The second is our living testimony of experiences. We learn how to love, trust, sacrifice, commit, and be accountable just by stepping up to the plate and facing life. People need a leader who has a never-die mentality and uses their experiences as self-reflection to help achieve goals that they didn't even know were possible. You don't fit the mold and you don't fit the crowd because the crowd needs someone talented and strong enough to see past the petty foes strangling so many in their day-to-day lives. We've pursued these skills and along the way accepted criticism, but you, my friend, must never stop perfecting it. Growth is the goal, knowing one day you'll be able to use it and spread it like wildfire. I turn to what I call wire fire. That burns strong and hot inside of me. That unique touch inside each of us is one of the most divine gifts any creature of this world could ask for. You must try to remember and hold on to the times of humility to improve your life. Those times when you truly appreciated life and all that is given and all that it still has to offer. The crowd can make you drunk with pride. You get consumed with the high and the feeling of invincibility, but you must prepare if nothing is permanent and knowing it can change at any moment. Are you strong enough to handle the highest point and the lowest point? If you are not, then you must train and check your body language, your tones, your responses, and your ability to weather each storm, but still remain as a respected leader. We all hate those overwhelming moments, but when we are pressured and squeezed like this, we really get to see what we want. People need help peeking and seeing it through. There are some great achievers out there, but how long before you say enough? It's too exhausting to think about one day, hoping to make it someday. I've given out books and self-development exercises to many people over the years and can honestly say I've only seen a few actually see it through. Not even as a result of my teaching, but to themselves to break out of their situation. They remain idle and never seem to learn the skills needed and the confidence to make them change to follow their heart, let alone out of the life that has caged them up. Many even deviate from the plan to put their own version into play. Even though a short time ago they were lost, they decided they knew enough to slightly skew the advice. This is a tactic to feel good about doing something, but this gives them something to blame when it falls short later. I realized that this level of thinking and planning isn't for everyone. I was convinced that everyone wanted the same as me, just needed a little help getting there, but they aren't ready. They won't be ready. You know who you are. I want to speak to those who want more and understand that this has to be a way of life if you want to peak your performance and achieve higher goals. Why do you think in an organization there are hundreds of workers and only a few staff and management? Too many aren't willing to break the generational mold and challenge themselves. We can all find peace in what we do. The game is to take a deep look, understand what you really want. If you have a great living life and owning it, great. But if that voice comes back again and reminds you that you were made for more, then stop fooling yourself. You're making excuses for better days that are so far away that you'd be happier if you just threw in the towel for good on your career, your vision, and even your personal accomplishments. It's a lot easier to settle back into mediocrity and take the good with the bad as it's handed to you rather than create your own future and path. Like many things, patience and hard work will always pay off. There is always a reward. The reward from having a strong mind not to just take on the day, but to start zeroing in on your passion is what makes it fun. It makes it enjoyable to light that fire again. My inner core thrives when I'm passionate about something. My gift, WireFire, makes me unique and a gift to this world. I've used it for many years and had great success, but now I'm busting through the ceiling. You must see your potential and get jacked for what's about to happen to you. Sit back and watch others or saddle that horse, tame it, and then ride it. Everything comes at a cost, but there is no reason you can't still learn the hard way and keep your priorities in line. Your life is still headed in the right direction, but keep your health from fading. You can have all of these things, but it really depends on how seriously you take it and how much you appreciate the time it takes to create this amazing life you're after. Once you stop trying to get it all now, or get something you don't understand yourself, is when you start developing the sixth sense skill. This skill is like nothing you've ever experienced because it comes with a deeper understanding of who you are inside, the one that usually scares the hell out of us because we don't know him. So, whether you're waking up from a good night's rest, a restless one, or even a short one because you didn't go to bed, you have a decision point. No matter the situation you're in or the week you've had, you can wake up today and change it. The day will come and go as it does every day, and you can decide to live in misery and discomfort, or you can say, let me see what I can do with it. I just have to keep my energy up, get excited about the small things, and see if I can make today worth living for. It's easy because the first step is to choose life and to choose mental focus that helps you work towards your goal. If you're tired, then get rest. If you're out of shape, then work out. You get frustrated easily, then meditate. If you're feeling alone or burdened, show more love to your family, your spouse, and your children. The next thing is to set small, quick goals so you can keep enjoying the taste of winning. I can't tell you how many bad days I've had not meeting a goal or a deadline, when the whole time it came from myself. I would literally beat myself up because I had raised the bar so high, but I didn't realize I was the only one answering to myself. Now, I will never stop pushing myself, and if someone around won't hold me to a higher standard, then it must come from me, and I will make sure everyone around me works to that same standard. Feel good about working out twice a week, saying hi to someone when you would rather keep to yourself, not hitting the snooze, or even keeping the laundry up for a week. In my house, we have 4 teenagers with a total of 6 with me and my wife. I've never seen so much waste and dirty towels in my life. The basket empties for someone to fill it right back up. The lights are always on in every room, and they forget to throw trash away with the can right beside them. The cycle never ends, so it can feel pointless, but each person in our family must do their part. That's how you win, and we continue to win when we make sure we follow through. You and your team are no different, and you need to make sure that you don't just accept falling short as the new standard. As long as that doesn't happen to you, then you will take the good with the bad, knowing it will work itself out through consistent discipline and following through every time. Small wins that fit your life are big-time momentum shifters. You must keep the energy charged and feel good about working hard, meeting those goals, and then start looking forward to bigger ones. Eventually, you'll get pep in your step and you'll start shifting your focus to greater things. WireFire Factor isn't just a saying. Just as you are given a social security number and a driver's license, you are required to prove who you are. No fake IDs and no purchase if you are not of age. Your ability works the same way as you move through your career. Can you show proof of your ability? There's a teaching point that I want to share with you. Always keep your guard up. An example of this was during a major transition project. I put my faith and confidence in a tenured team, but they began to flake on me. The change was happening, but resistance was at an all-time high. I was relying on their strength and confidence of been there, done that to help us through it. I discovered that even though they had seen change stabilize over time, they were exhausted from the thought of having to go through it again. What I thought was a strength actually hurt us because their awareness was much higher this time. The project was one of the largest to date. They didn't know what to do next, so the feeling of losing control sank in. The point is, as mature as leaders we are, we begin to know what it will take and the stress it will carry. The thought alone will overwhelm us well before we even go through the process. In this case, knowing is powerful because you know what it takes, but it can also be demoralizing because you don't want to put that energy into change, transition, and recovery again. When you are younger and your fire is burning hot, you know no boundaries or walls and you feel like nothing can stop you. It's naive for sure, but it also gets things done because the fear of failure is an afterthought. You haven't experienced failure enough under your name to have to worry about it. As you get older and you have the experience, the thought of leading something this big can be exhausting because you know what hardships you will face, how many pointless conversations you'll have, and how many times you'll have to be one of the few to keep everyone together. We all want satisfaction from all the hard work and effort we put into something. We all want to be the beneficiary of what we put into it. No one wants to intentionally waste all of their efforts and energy. Sacrifice becomes the one thing in life that has no immediate return on investment but provides purpose. We must believe in a divine purpose to help us find what's buried deep inside our souls instead of a reward that only lasts a few minutes and then your mind quickly moves on to the next thing. Lots of water and air. Life needs oxygen. Wire fire needs oxygen to thrive. The body is made up of about 60% water, so it needs water to live. It needs hydration to protect itself and regulate the core temperature. Oxygen is what pumps the heart and pumps life into everything you do. Both are equally important. Just as the damper on a stove keeps the fire going, it also calms it. Open the ashpan door, allow oxygen in, and you'll have a blazing fire, loud and roaring. Know when to fire up your inner beast and when to just keep it calm and steady. The control of a beautiful fire can be mesmerizing. Its beauty can catch anyone, yet it has the power to destroy. As leaders of integrity, this use of power becomes your ability to connect and teach the world. When you teach, you should focus on making this world a better place, and everything else will eventually fall into place. Your body, mental state, how much you stretch, your exercise routine, your diet, and even just your daily routine matter for the end game. Simple steps like not hitting the snooze or finding a routine that puts you in the best mental state possible allows you to focus on your development instead of the garbage around you. Stop being as useful as a pile of garbage. Find that fire. Nobody survives this long without making some of their enemies their friends. You know people, and people are willing to go to bat for you if they respect you. They may not be able to stand you some days, but they know you care about them and care about achieving a much higher goal, one that you could never achieve alone or dream up. They see your vision or in your passion and want to be a part of it. Sometimes, though, it's hard to spot the difference between confidence and ignorance. You must know what situation you're in and at that moment in time to know how to navigate it. Having empathy for people because of the pain in their lives and the vices that squeeze the life out of them only strengthens your ability to lead them. With leadership, your energy and determination must go unconscious and become so focused you become possessed. You'll need an exorcism to pull back to normal. The focus has to be real and it has to be pure so that it sets you apart. So, let's put the wire fire factor into action. When turning great into greatness, you go through phases and levels. Each one is a tiered step toward the next and eventually put you in a place of abundant confidence and maturity. We've talked several times over in this book about wire fire, but it doesn't start at an amazing state right away out of the gate. What will you start with? What tools do you have, and what is needed right away to get it started and mature it? Levels of maturity. Level 1. This is that perfect oak hardwood that just needs to get going and it will burn long and hot. Level 2. This level is good, but it's not yet. You ever have light a campfire? You know it works best when you add some lighter fluid or newspapers to get it going. Your fire starter is your inspiration or your motivation that surrounds you. It's time to light the fire and baby it until it can hold its own motivation. Motivation runs out quick, so don't stop giving attention to it. Level 3. This is where it gets harder because it's the base of your gift and it must have a strong foundation. The paper is burning, the wood caught fire, but it needs to take off so that it has enough energy to burn the rest of the wood. In order to keep it going, you have to make sure it has air, or it will smolder and smother. Your gift needs air. It needs oxygen and life for it to thrive and catch fire to everything around it. Level 4. The hard work is done, but now you own it. Learn how valuable the fire is when it's big and when it's in its cold stage, because each has its own purpose. This is the part where you're doing great things. You're reliable, dependable, and you get results. Just as the heat comes off of that fire and brings warmth and comfort, so should your ability at this point. People around you should feel better just by being in your presence. Level 5. This is the moment where you get to celebrate because your hard work paid off. Through this great moment, you shift the mindset so it's sustainable going forward. A movement where you accept who you are and decide you're tired of the ups, downs, and the pointless setbacks. You know it, and you can feel its power, energy, and greatness, which sets in motion a huge ripple effect. You're contagious and bold, and that's all you need. Just like any fire, though, it does burn down, so you must constantly feed it. You must go back out and cut more wood and continue the process of fueling that gift. A fire is mesmerizing and beautiful, but to the touch, it's powerful and a fury that will burn. Your gift is no different. Be that energy, that light, and that mentor, but set boundaries so people understand what authority and power you hold. Use your gift for good and focus on improving the well-being of humanity, and you will live a fulfilled life. I've never seen someone who became incredibly blessed also be incredibly tormented. If something is pushing you towards something, then run towards it. Discomfort must be where you fight while others choose to relax. What makes one person take their pain and turn it into power versus another who takes their pain and turns it into excuses? Damaged people are dangerous because they know how to survive. You must understand the fight you're in order to get the victory. If you have not studied your enemy, how will you defeat them? Do you ever look back on your day and critique yourself and wonder why you responded the way you did? Do you ever wonder what incited your anger or frustration, or why you continue to fall into the same snake pit of deception? Every time you can't control your emotions, you lower yourself to the lowest point in the room. Are you not better than those trying to bring you down? Are you not capable of rising above everything that's wrong in this world? Are you that weak that the simplest words said wrong way can ruin your day? The problem is that today's society teaches at a very young age to take on the world and handle it any way you seem fit. They are told to put someone in their place first, then find out what their concern is. Society also teaches that authority and benefits are given and not earned. This is what you're up against, and if you can be savage, you will set yourself apart. You will always be in a fight, but you must learn how to surround yourself with other strong leaders that will help keep you in check. Your commitment must mean something. Walking boldly and confidently with no plans mean you are waiting for the next failure instead of the next blessing. You must work towards something, and when you take on the world of leadership, you had better be ready because you'll have more demons than you'll know what to do with. You see, we forget quickly how much demons love going after those who declare their place in the ring of leadership. So, do you have the mental, physical, and emotional strength to not only handle it, but become a respected leader? You might openly feel lost. You're 1 in a billion. Who are you to be chosen? If you don't believe that you are called, chosen, and capable of handling this moment of battle, then it's time to hit the road. You better fight and fight until your demons tremble. Then you teach others how to fight. Quit spending all your time in your own head and fighting everyone around you, causing stress and chaos. Listen, we all know you might look put together on the outside, but we are all hurting on the inside. The worrying, the suffering, and the confusion must be faced so that it can be let go. Create your own name and use it as a reminder of how unique you are and the gifts you carry. Find that name that rolls off the tongue and empowers you to live it out. The Wire Fire Factor is a process to find your gift and a result to use it. 2 Corinthians 4:16 through 18. Therefore we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal.